One of the best coaches in the game. You know him from working with such fighters as Khabib, Cain Velasquez, Luke Rockhold, Daniel Cormier, and Umar Nurmagomedov in the UFC and across all the organizations, and a friend of the show, Javier Mendez. Thank you so much for joining us here after a big day in Las Vegas yesterday.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a pretty amazing day for the UFC and all the fans.
Dude, I gotta get straight into it because, you know, we've got a new champion in the bantamweight division. Merab was able to do it. He beat Chan O'Malley, and not only did he do it like that with domination, but he kind of was really able to show everybody how great of a fighter he really is. Sean wasn't able to do very much the entire fight up until the very end when he landed that body kick. What was your reaction to Merab's performance and his win?
Well, I thought that if O'Malley couldn't prevent the takedowns and catch him early, that I thought he would be in trouble. So obviously we can't be thinking Merab's going to get tired because he never does. Fifth round is like the first round for that guy. So I felt if O'Malley couldn't catch him, that he was going to be in trouble if he couldn't stop the takedown. And that's exactly what happened. He couldn't stop the takedown. I didn't know who was going to win. I was hoping O'Malley would win because we were told that we would fight the winner. Does that happen? I don't know, but I wanted the person that had the bigger resume. But the way he destroyed O'Malley, it could very well mean that Merab has the bigger following now, maybe, or the biggest interest, I guess.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Thinking about the Umar O'Malley fight, do you think it would have played out similarly to what we saw Merab do yesterday?
No, because they're entirely different fighters. It would have played out different. It wouldn't have been the same. Sure, on the ground, it would have been bad for O'Malley, but he might have got finished on the ground with Umar. Had Umar been able to take him to the ground, more than likely, I think, based on what I saw, if it had been Umar on the ground on him like that. Umar's more of a submission specialist than Merab is, I feel.
There were some weird moments in the fight. Tim Welch and Merab sort of going back and forth. What was your reaction when you saw Herb Dean telling Tim off for excessive coaching? Have you seen anything like that in your years in the game coaching fighters?
Yeah, I've seen it, but it's never been focused on like it was on this one. I mean, they've done it to us where they tell us stop coaching. When they tell you to, when there's a foul and they tell you go in the neutral corner, and then our talking. I never say nothing, but our guys are talking, and the refs say, "Hey, stop coaching." I've seen it, and we've been guilty of it ourselves. It's just that I've never seen it to this extent. Like Herb really got upset. So it must have been something that Tim did, and Tim probably figured that I'm imagining this, that he probably figured that, hey, he can get into Merab's head. Since Merab seems to have an issue with him, why not use that to his advantage? That's what I'm thinking. Wrong on that. I could be wrong, but I would think if I'm gonna do it, I would do that. But I wouldn't do that, but myself personally. But that is a good tactic if you want to talk about messing a guy's head. That is a good tactic.
Yeah, like where do you sit on that? Because Tim's known, we saw it in the Aljo fight, he'll actually do calls to the opposing fighters to kind of confuse them a little bit and to kind of stop, I guess, the cornering from the other side, because, it sounds like he's yelling instructions to, like Aljo, for example, to make him make mistakes. Where do you sit on that? Merab really feels like it's almost like a form of cheating. What do you think?
I kind of, I kind of tend to agree with Merab, but I mean, the bottom line is coaches are going to do whatever they do to get their fighter to win, I'm sure there's some of my coaches that would probably do the same thing if they could figure out how to get into the other corner coach's head, for sure. So, and the fighter's head too. So I guess I'm not for it, but it is part of the game, and it does work. I remember a long time ago when I used to watch Greg Jackson when we were cornering opposite of each other, and with his fighter would do something good, but it didn't land. But he'd say, "That's a great shot, good hit," and I'm used to telling him, why is this guy saying good hit, good hit? It didn't. But you know what? I was thinking, oh, that son of a gun, he's a genius. He's out there making sure the judges think they didn't see what they didn't see, you know. So he's thinking, okay, if I can convince them that we're doing great, they might, you know. And I think that tactic does work. I've never done that, but I did like what he was doing. I picked that up on that many years ago.
After the fight, Joe Rogan kind of spoke a little bit about Umar, how he could potentially be next. Merab didn't really say much about Umar being next, but then in the post-fight press conference, he did say that he feels like Figgy should get the next title shot, and he feels like Umar should fight someone like a Petr Yan. What's your reaction to Merab not really being down for this fight with Umar?
Complete. Don't know what the hell to think, because how can you say the other person is more deserving when the ranking put Umar as number 2, and they also promised Umar the fight, or whoever the winner was going to be between Sandhagen and Umar, that they would get the next title shot. The UFC is coming through with their promise. That's what they're trying to put together. And why Merab is trying to maybe avoid him, I don't know if he is or isn't. I really don't know. It's weird. My fighters, you know, what I tell them is, when you're the champion, you just get ready to fight. Whoever they put in front of you, you fight. If you're not a real champion, then fine, pick who you want to pick. But if you're the real champion, you fight. The only thing you should be able to choose is the dates. You know, am I injured? I need time to heal, that type of thing. But as far as opponent, I don't think a champion should be in a position to pick. I think the UFC or whatever organization needs to pick who you're fighting next. And it could be somebody that's not even in the ranking, but if that's what they want you to fight, that's what they want you to fight. You're supposed to be the champion, which means you're supposed to be the best in the world at that particular time. So why shouldn't you fight anybody? I don't know. That's my belief. You're the world champion. I don't care who you put in front of me. He makes that weight. Like, what did Khabib say? If King Kong makes 155, let's go.
I actually really want to see this Umar Merab fight, man. I think it would be a great fight, but I kind of struggle thinking on what that would even look like. How do you think the guys match up? Obviously, you were thinking a little bit about Sean O'Malley before, and now it's Merab. How do you think the guys match up and that fight even looks?
That fight looks fantastic, because that fight's going to be fought everywhere. It's going to be fought on the stand-up. It's going to be fought on the ground. I believe we're sharper on the stand-up. I believe we're sharper on the ground. I believe what he has that's incredible is he's an incredible cardio, and that's a big part that's on his advantage, that I don't know of anybody in the bantamweight division that I see that's got that kind of advantage. He's got incredible cardio. So if you're going to go with him and it's going to go 5 rounds, you got to be prepared to go 5 hard first rounds, because that's what this guy is all about. He's got an incredible gas tank. He's kind of like reminding me of Cain Velasquez, you know, in the bantamweight division.
So you feel like this one might go the 5 rounds? I know Umar, you know, loves the finish as well. Do you reckon it goes the full distance?
I always go in the distance. I don't want to think anything, you know, earlier than that. I don't want to mentally put myself in that situation. If something happens, if we do get the fight, we got to get the fight. The UFC's got to offer it to us. And as far as I know, it is being offered. Just a matter of whether they can work out the deal. And you never know behind the scenes what's going on, right? So even though I'm telling you this, it may be something else. I do know word was that we are supposed to be the next challengers after this. That's why Moore was there. Why did they show him? Why did they show him as the next challenger for the title? Why did Joe Rogan even bring it up if they weren't trying to build up the next fight? It's the next fight. Now, will it happen? Let's see.
Obviously, you can't reveal the date, but timeline-wise, how soon do you think this could happen?
Well, for me, being I'm biased, I want it to be in Abu Dhabi. I've been reaching Abu Dhabi all the way, and the next one in Abu Dhabi after Hamzat fights Whitaker, I want the next show in Abu Dhabi to be, you know, Umar and Merab in Abu Dhabi, and then another one would be great is if Islam gets cleared to start training, or when he starts training, if they can do a double, like have a double title in Abu Dhabi. Wouldn't that be something for me? For me, it'd be great, because we already be training there, because we already have Usman, Umar's brother, is going to be defending his you know, lightweight title, Bellator lightweight title in Dubai at the Coca-Cola Arena. It's tentatively scheduled for January. So for me, it'd be fantastic if we can all just do all the training camps at NOS and Dubai. That'd be unbelievable.
fellas, do you want your grooming routine to be a one and done deal? Well, the days of using the same trimmer for your face and your private parts are over. Thanks to our friends at MANSCAPED. They're coming up with the ultimate package to keep your hairs trimmed from 12 to 6. Introducing the Beard Balls bundle featuring the Lawnmower 5.0 and the Beard Hedger trimmer for the moneymaker, and another one for the boys downstairs. Get 20% off and free shipping now with the code word submission at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code word submission at manscaped.com. And fellas, real talk. I'm about to talk to you out there, the guys that are about to go on their dates, or the guys that are about to go in the gym, or the guys that are about to just go into work or do whatever life things you need to do. There are certain things you need to do to take care of yourself. Manscaped has you sorted, if you know what I mean. With the 20% off with the code word submission and free shipping today, the Ball and Beard bundle will make sure that you accomplish whatever it is you're trying to do out there. What about NordVPN? It is the ultimate VPN out there. To get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, you can go to nordvpn.com/submission. Now, our link will give you an extra 4 months on the 2-year plan. That's right, an extra 4 months. And there's absolutely no risk with the Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The link is down below, or of course you go to nordvpn.com/submission. What about NordVPN? You can watch your sporting events, TV shows, films which aren't available by your region by switching your virtual location. You can protect your private data like bank details, passwords, and online identity. You can switch your location anywhere to save money by purchasing cheaper flights, hotels, subscriptions. And what about the threat protection feature that protects you from viruses, malicious malware, and phishing sites? It's the fastest VPN in the world with no buffering or lagging. Premium cybersecurity for the price of a cup of coffee per month. And one NordVPN account can be used up to 10 devices. That's right, 10 devices. Go to nordvpn.com/submission now. Get the deal. Try it risk-free. It's one of the best apps in the game as well. nordvpn.com/submission. Support the show so we can provide more interviews for you throughout the next few months with nordvpn.com and Manscaped now. Now back to the program. Gotta ask about Islam, man. So how are we looking? Last time you said there was this hand injury and they weren't sure whether or not they're going to need to do stuff about it. And now I saw the fight, sort of his return's being pushed out to next year. How's he looking, and what did the doctors end up saying about his injury?
I don't know how he's looking. I do know what was told. It wasn't no surgery needed. It just needed rest and it's a tendon. And I haven't really spoken to them about in regards to when's he going to start training. So right now, I don't really know. I don't really have any answer that would be correct on him other than no surgery. That I do know.
That must be a relief, though. No surgery for you. Because for people that don't know, tendons in your hand, it could get quite complicated when you have surgeries, right? Like the recovery process is quite, because it's hard to get blood into those tendons for them to recover.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, before you know, your career is over because you no longer you have brittle hands now.
So, okay, that's great news. The other interesting thing is there's a lot of movement in his division, right? Like, what was your reaction when you saw that Charles Oliveira is now fighting Michael Chandler?
Oh, I love that. I love that. Michael Chandler is, he wants to put his name on the hat, and I like his attitude. I like what he's doing, and I think that he's correct. If he gets a win there, that it's a good excitement. Islam has never faced him, so that would be a great fight for Islam to want to get charged up. First we got Sarukin, obviously, because that's who's next. And then after that, it would be great if Chandler can get a win. That would be fantastic. Islam would get jazzed up about fighting somebody new. I mean, that's what you hear Islam say it all the time. He wants to fight somebody new. So I get it. I wouldn't want to fight the same guy either. I know I fought a guy 3 times, and every single time I fought this guy, I got more. Because why do I have to fight this guy? I already beat him twice. And so the third time that I had to fight him, I got so upset that I trained even super harder than I did the previous 2 because I figured he must know something. He must know something. So I took care of him worse the third time than I did the first or the second because I had to, because he was, I figured he knows me. He's fought with me. So he must have something. So I had to train super hard for that. So I would think that if, you're the champion, right? You do train that. You're super hard for, if you got a rematch, train harder because this guy knows you. Don't think you can go in lazy. No way.
How did that third fight go? How did you finish him?
Body shot.
Awesome. Oh, this poor guy. The interesting thing here is, right, obviously, Charles and Chandler are fighting. The division's pretty open at the moment. So you're saying it's still going to be Arman for sure? when it comes to when Islam returns? Because obviously I know there's Max Holloway as well. With Ilya, there's a lot of, people saying, well, what if Max moves up? For sure, it's Arman next.
No, nothing's ever for sure. The UFC makes it for sure. Whatever I say means nothing until the UFC announces. Even if my guys tell me, Coach, we're fighting this, if it's not announced by the UFC, it's not even a for sure nothing. Because all I can say is, like I said, we were told with Umar we were going to be the next, but I'm not saying we're going to fight next because I don't know that. That could change. So with Arman, I would think Arman is the #1 contender. That's what all the news media has been saying. That's what the UFC more or less has been saying. But that could change. So look what happened to poor Mike Chandler. He's fighting Connor. All of a sudden, now he's fighting Oliveras.
It's crazy how stuff changes. What do you think happens with Connor now? Like, Chandler's out. He said maybe potentially he might fight him down the line. But who do you think Connor should fight when he makes his return?
Well, if you want my opinion, I think he should fight someone that favors him, that's not going to want to take him down, that's going to want to do more stand-up, so he can throw a great fight for the fans. He's a great striker.
As we wrap up, Javier, final question from me. How do you rate Khabib almost submitting Umar in the corner the other week? I know you talk about he gets excited. This is probably the most excited we've seen him in a while cornering.
Actually, believe it or not, he was more calm this time than last. But yeah, when I wasn't paying attention, I didn't even see it. When I saw it in a replay, I went, "Oh my God." That thing got over 5 million views in less than 24 hours. I wonder what it's at now. That was incredible. That was the same kind of choke he had Conor in, where Conor choked and Umar said to me, "Coach, I would never choke on that choke." So he could never tap me. He could never tap me with that. So, it's a fun thing, but I thought it was hilarious. And I obviously everybody does too, because they mentioned that, Khabib gets very animated in the corner. He has so much passion and love for his guys. And, obviously we can't always win all the fights, but, he does his best to try to ensure that, our guys get the best opportunity to win every fight possible.
Love the passion, man. Thank you so much for joining me, and can't wait to see what's next. Thanks, Javier.
All right, man. We'll see you.